Welcome. This is Nicholas Colosi welcoming families to our first, hopefully last, virtual ninth grade orientation.
I am Jamie Maistros. I'm the high school assistant principal, and I am looking forward to having our freshman class in the building. We will be seeing students that are doing a fully virtual program on Tuesday, September 1st at 1 p.m. in the auditorium. And we'll be welcoming back students that are following our blended model, either on Tuesday the 8th for our A-Day cohort or Wednesday the 9th for our B students. Mr. Colosi.
On the opening day for all students on September 8th and 9th, we will do an orientation for all the new parameters, protocols, and procedures surrounding the reopening of schools. But back to today's programming, and we're going to do our ninth grade virtual orientation. So I will switch over to our slide deck, and we will make this recording available to you to reference later. So again, I'd like to welcome freshmen, parents, and guardians. We are excited to have this opportunity to present to you and become familiar with the high school and what that means for your students. We will be addressing many questions and concerns you have, specifically about the transition to high school. As always, if you have additional questions, comments, or concerns, don't ever hesitate to communicate to the main office. So I'd like to turn it over to Mrs. Maistros.
We're going to start the first part of the presentation for our students. So with the student section, lots of questions that we field are surrounding the transition to ninth grade. So some things to know coming into the high school is that we are on a blended block schedule. This is new this year. So students may see a variety of blocked classes and of single classes. Blocked classes will meet for a double mod. It'll be 82 minutes, and those courses will end in January at the end of the first semester. Single classes will meet for one mod, and they'll be 39 minutes long. At the high school, you can expect to receive a syllabus in every class that you're in that will outline expectations, content, grading, and supplies. Attendance is the most important thing that you can do as an incoming freshman to have a successful high school experience. So we are learning 5 days a week, whether you are blended or virtual model. On the days that you're not in the building, you will have to engage with a learning opportunity, either online for most of our students or in an alternate manner for a few that are struggling with some internet connectivity. Homework is part of high school. It is expected to be done on your own time, and it helps you to move forward with the content and curriculum in each of your classes. We do have extra help available to you. So it is really important as we start to gain the independence as a high schooler that we know how to seek out opportunities for growth. And so if you identify that you're struggling with something, whether it's content or a paper or a text or a concept in math class, you have to seek out that extra help. We have labs available both in writing and math during some of our lunch periods, and we also have a study table. So there is a table in our building that is staffed every day from 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. with a teacher that students can go to. It's a drop-in basis, or they can be assigned by a teacher. And those are two really good ways to get some extra help. Finally, extracurriculars. Getting involved is a great way to be part of the Sherburne-Earlville team. At this point, we are waiting more guidance from the state on what extracurriculars will look like, but that is coming. Our counseling office, as lots of you experienced in the middle school, the high school counseling office is also a wealth of information. So they are going to help you with scheduling your classes. They're going to counsel you on what classes may be good for you to take depending on what your future looks like. They're going to talk you through graduation requirements, college or career planning, and we also offer a lot of support in terms of peer counseling. It's good to remember that this year may be challenging for a lot of us. We're learning some new protocols, and we're going to walk through that together. The high school counseling office is a place for you to start if you're looking for resources. And this year, your counselor will be Miss Riegler, so you'll be hearing from her a lot as we go through the year. Mr. Colosi is going to talk to you about units of credit.
So as Mrs. Maistros previously mentioned, courses in the high school are credit bearing, and those are called Carnegie units, and these are what you need to earn to graduate from high school. So a full year course, a course that meets every day for the full 40 weeks, or if you are in a semestered course, which means twice a day for 20 weeks, those will all count as one unit of study or unit of credit. And to get credit, you also have to earn a 65 as an average for those courses. Your grade level in high school is based on the number of courses, of credits you've earned. So everyone coming in will be a freshman. Once you've earned 5 credits, you will be considered a sophomore, 10 credits would be a junior, and anything 15 or higher, you'd be considered a senior. Additionally, not only earning credits for graduation, you also have the requirement of passing Regents exams. So below, you'll see a list of all the Regents exams offered through all the departments. And the ones highlighted, or I should say bolded and with an asterisk, shows you the ones that are mandatory to pass in order to graduate. One in math, which would be the Common Core Algebra. One in science, which would be living environment. 2 in social studies, which would be global history and US history. And then 1 in English.
We touched on this before, but attendance is one of the most important things that you can focus on this year. Attendance is going to look different because for most of our students, they're only in the building 2 days a week. Regardless of whether you're physically here or you're learning from home, you have to engage with all of your classes every day. I'm sure that all of the parents that are watching this can attest that attendance in the workplace helps you maintain success. So know that we do have an attendance policy at the high school. We do ask that you are in school every day, and if you are not able to be here or to be engaging online, that you provide a note from a doctor if it's a medical reason, and if not, you communicate with us if there's something else going on. Mrs. Dewing is in our attendance office. She'll be the lady that you call if your child is not able to engage with a learning opportunity for that day. We also, one of my favorite things about Sherburne-Earlville is that we are committed to making our entire community a great place to work and learn. As part of that, we have a community service requirement. So all students in high school are expected to gain 15 hours of community service by the time they graduate their senior year. And that starts now for our freshmen. So be looking for ways that you can serve those around you. And as those ways present themselves, go see Miss Treadway in the high school main office. She'll give you a form that you complete before doing your community service, and then you have it signed off and you bring it back in. Although 15 hours is the minimum requirement, you can earn as many hours as you want for community service, and we do give out an award at graduation for the student that collects the most hours of community service during their high school career. Freshmen, now that you have entered high school, it is time to start planning for prom, which probably feels pretty far away, but it's coming up quickly. Your senior trip, your senior picnic, all of those types of things. Miss Riegler is going to be the freshman class advisor. So not only is she your counselor and will be your primary contact for scheduling and academic and social emotional needs, she's also going to be talking with you about fundraising opportunities and events that are coming up. You are going to hear most of the announcements about your freshman class activities during your homeroom in the morning. And so make sure that you're listening to those morning announcements so you know what's coming up as a freshman class. The more involved you get, the more successful of a high school career you will have in terms of all of those extras.
At this point, we're going to switch over to more information for parents. Students are welcome to stay on and listen. And again, there's a lot of information here, and you'll be able to see this and play it back. And again, if you have questions, don't hesitate to call us. So the freshman transition and going into 9th grade is the best predictor of success in high school. And actually, it's from 8th to 9th grade where we see this. And again, this is all based on research and data. And we want students to be successful. So students who are on track in 9th grade are 4 times more likely to graduate from high school than those are off track, meaning you failed a class, you've been retained for a school year, going to summer school, etc. So the key here is to hit the ground running, be successful the first time around, and stay ahead of the curve to gain that success. Again, academics and attendance are the two best things that you need to focus on with your child to be successful. And that's something we need to reinforce both here at school and at home. And again, this is a partnership. We are all in this together. And if we're doing this together, it's the best formula for that success. So when we talk about success and working together, we need to look at some of the key features that students need to participate or do to be successful. And again, sometimes students believe that these are choices that they have, but in reality, these are everyday expectations and responsibilities. And what do we mean by that? Well, to be successful in terms of academics, you need to attend class every single day. There is no substitute to in-class learning. It's the discussion and interaction with your peers and your teacher, the back and forth. That environment is very important for success. Again, engaging in that classroom, whether it is physical or virtual, again, whether it's in class or online. And also, as technology has improved and we've also gone to one-to-one devices for all students, they need to check digitally as well in the physical classroom. Students will be getting emails, so they need to check that daily and multiple times a day. Checking your email once a day would not be sufficient to be successful. A lot of information will be coming, and you need to check it often to be abreast of what's going on. That goes along with Google Classroom. Regardless of what format you are choosing to opt for your child, whether it's virtual, blended, everybody will be virtual on Mondays, so important instruction information will happen on those days. So that's why, again, checking your email in the Google Classroom is essential. Completing your work, we need to grade you. We need to grade your understanding of the material, so stay on top of homework. A big thing we need to teach students is to advocate for themselves. It's okay not to understand something. A lot of times teachers will have multiple ways to teach something. So if you don't understand something, or your child doesn't understand something, again, we're not all content specialists. The best person to go to is your teacher. Ask for help. Say you don't understand. Because if you don't understand, there's a good chance that somebody else doesn't understand. And we want to make sure we give you everything that you need. And last, studying. You should be studying every day. I'm not saying it needs to be hours, but reviewing your notes, doing practice problems, making flashcards, etc. There's a whole laundry list of things that students can do to study. And again, learning doesn't just happen in the classroom, and we need to extend that beyond the school day. So looking at the freshman transition, how can you help at home? Again, communicate with us. We are not mind readers. We don't know what's going on. So if you tell us what's going on, we can better meet your students' needs, whether it's calling the teacher, and if that doesn't work, calling the counselor. And again, if you're still not feeling that you're getting what you need, then you can call the principals and we can address your situations. Sometimes we get calls about, a death of a pet or just a student having a bad day. We will pass that information along to teachers so they can better address your student. Set up a routine. Students do well with routine and organization. So students should be checking their planners, which we will provide daily, checking Google Classroom, checking their email, checking School Tool for their grades and any missing assignments, and their homework. With School Tool, when you give us your email address and we put it into the student information system, you'll automatically get an email to sign up for School Tool. This is a way that not only your child, but you can also check your students' progress, what their grades are. You can also check their attendance through School Tool. So you'll be able to know the progress of your child through that piece. And again, grades, the sooner we can get to them, the better. So if there's a missing assignment or a poor grade or something was missed, the sooner we can address it, the better for everybody. And again, if things aren't working, you can always request, or we might request, a parent-teacher conference. Sometimes messages are lost in the digital world, whether it's an email or even a phone call or text message. Sometimes the best solution is getting everybody at the table and having a good discussion about what's going on and how we can make a plan to move forward. And last, help your students study. Even if they just tell you what they learned, if they explain it to you, that's the way they could study. The best learning is teaching.
Sorry, we're navigating a couple screens open right here and I was muted. So the diploma is the goal for most of our students, and that looks like a Regents diploma. There are a number of pathways to graduation, but the Regents diploma is the most standard. And so in order to get there, students need 22 total credits, And below, you'll see a list of areas that those credits are in. So you'll see on the left part of your screen the subject. Students need 3 credits in math and science, 4 in English and social studies, and then a number of electives. And on the right column, you will see the exams needed. Some of you may know that last year Regents exams were canceled due to COVID. The Regents Board has not canceled exams at this point for the 2020 and 2021 school year. So we will be doing our best, even in a reduced time period, to prepare students for those exams. A student that completes all of these requirements and maintains a 90% or higher on an overall average and their Regents exams not only gets a Regents diploma, but they get a Regents diploma with honors. In addition to this pathway, we also have the Advanced Regents Diploma, which is still 22 credits, but you'll see an addition, especially on the right, in Regents exams taken. We take a couple more in math and science, and also in our second language credit. So your counselor, Ms. Riegler, will go through the pathways, and you'll sit down together and decide which area that you are looking to go into and what type of diploma you would need to further advance your career once you are finished with high school.
So I mentioned this earlier, academic communication is essential for success. And again, you can view your students' grades through School Tool. You'll be able to look in Google Classroom. There'll be a standardized format, so you'll be able to check the same way for all your students' classes in the Google Classroom to check what the students are doing or the work that they're doing. And again, contacting teachers. You can see School Tool what their grades are. You may email teachers. All those email addresses are available on the school website, www.sehs.org. And then you can always call the school district. Now, the teacher are teaching during the day, so they might not be available to answer right away, but voice messages can be left, and they'll call you back as soon as possible. So the district number and the main office number for the high school are provided on the screen. Keeping along with communication, this chart has been put into your student's planner. And we want to make it easy in terms of chain of command of who to call and what process you should take. So this is showing you all the different, and I shouldn't say all, most of the different types of communication we have in a school, and who your first call should be, second call, and then the final call. And again, as always, it's best to talk to the person firsthand about what's going on. So if you have a question about a classroom, the teacher knows all the ins and outs of the situation or what happened in that classroom, and they can answer your questions the best. Again, if that doesn't work, then we'll include the counselor and then finally the principals. And again, the goal is to streamline communication as effectively as possible and clearly as possible so that we can address any issues that you have. Again, we want to be successful, so your help in this is very important.
I just think it's important to add on communication. If we communicate primarily electronically, so through email, through School Tool, and through social media and our website. If that doesn't work for you or your child, it's really important that you let us know specifically. Mr. Colosi and I are always available to hear your concerns and to help you get in touch with the right person to get them addressed. So just a really, this is going to be a year full of a lot of questions and concerns, and know that you can always come to us and we will help you find the resource that you need to get a problem solved. Related, let's talk about special services. So every child learns differently. Our teachers are really well equipped at meeting your individual child's needs. However, if you feel like your child needs more support to be successful, please ask. We have a lot of services and interventions that the district can provide. The Office of Special Services, the contact information for Mrs. Ronaldo and Ms. Ford and Ms. Young are below, and they cater to not only individual needs and interventions, but IEPs and 504s. So if you feel like that is a service you'd like to seek out, contact information is below. We just talked about reaching out and kind of that chain of command. Our information is all here. Not only can you call these numbers, you can email us at any time, and our information is also on the website. Don't hesitate to reach out. The better communication, the better we can serve you. Continuation of important contacts. These are our counselors and our social worker. They are incredible. incredibly important resources for your children. I think that you will find them to be professional and reliable and impactful. So don't hesitate to reach out to our counseling staff and our social worker as well.
As always, we're here to support you and your students. So we're in this together. It is a partnership. We want the same thing, to provide that best education as possible. So if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please don't hesitate to call us, to stop in. And again, we're looking forward to a successful year. We are creating a new normal, but the goal is still the same. So if you have any questions, again, call us. We look forward to opening our doors to students on September 8th. And thank you for joining us today, and have a great day.